Good morning, traders. Today is Wednesday, November 24th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. The Pirate Traders live stream. All right, so I just want to take a second here to point out we kind of had this balancing area that the market had been in for a few days here. Looking something like that right there. And we had a look above. We had a couple of them, actually. We had a look above in the overnight. And then we had another look above in the next day. Sorry, it's early. I'm stuttering. A look above the next day. When it pulled back into that value area, it caused a massive sell-off, which took us instantly to the bottom end of balance. So yesterday, what I was looking for was for the market to build volume and spend time back inside that value area. And we didn't really do that. We kind of did. We were just on the bottom edge. So it's not giving me a super clear indication of whether we're ready to get back up into balance or whether we need a larger pullback to bring in more buyers. Yesterday's trade didn't give us a clear signal one way or the other. But the overnight did spend quite a bit of time up in there. So that's a little bit, reassuring to see that maybe we are ready to re-enter this balancing area. And I will say that we also have just found support in the overnight right at that 20 daily moving average, which moved its way up a little bit from where it was yesterday. So pretty much this morning, the main thing to the downside that I'm going to remain focused on is that 20 daily moving average. I'll just pull up the daily chart here real quick. If we start to trade below that daily moving average, the next support is going to be that horizontal line. Right at 46.25.25. That is the next support below us. And then the argument can be made we're just in a larger balancing area, right? This was the excess. There was a lot of it over many, many days. It would make sense. We got to spend a few weeks balancing between this area before the market would be ready to go higher or need a larger pullback. So that's the next support is 46.25.25. If this 20 daily moving average, the red line you see here, does not hold. Okay. So that's my focus to the downside. Can we find support? It's just below us where we're about to open, but there should be some support in that general area. If we start to trade back to the upside, I'm watching pretty much where this week reference is that we left behind from yesterday, the week L period low. Actually, I need to delete that because it was a low. Yes, it was. Okay, well then that was repaired in the regular trading hours. Sorry about that. Let's just mark it as high volume node. Okay, so that high volume node, oh boy, technical difficulties first thing in the morning. So that high volume node will be kind of the resistance to the upside. So we're opening literally right in the middle of yesterday's value area and in the middle of yesterday's range. So obviously we're expecting some chop. We're going to hit that opening bell in a minute. And we're expecting the market to just kind of grind around in here. But if it can get above this node right here, I'll be looking for support to start stepping in for continuation higher due to the fact that it's getting back into that balancing area. Right? And often when we look below a balancing area and pull back in, that is called a look below and fail. And the target is the opposite end of balance. Okay. So if we can get above this node of volume right here, we should be able to, we want to obviously get above it, come back down and find support, but then we should be able to head all the way up to that balancing area high. And the same thing with this daily 20 moving average to the downside. If we chop around in here early in the morning and then we break below that, come back up and find resistance, I'll be looking for further downside continuation. So let's sit back, relax, and watch the market chop. Please smash that like button in the meantime. Let's pump those likes. Bullish on the thumbs ups. Okay, it doesn't have to be support exactly on that 20. It's just the general area. So we'll give the market a second here before we start to get worried. Diego, good morning. Busy morning so far. You've been taking trades? You've been trading the overnight? Nor Auto Trader, good morning to you. JG with the GM, good to see you. Joe Park, good morning to you. Reggae Bobby in the house, good morning. All right, well, they're not finding support there right now. Which is not a great way to start the day if you're a bull. The overnight inventory was net short, so we would have expected some kind of counter auction to the upside. So we would assume this is new sellers piling on here. Wow, okay. Trading Donkey, thank you for watching the ads. Appreciate you, brother. Did you do your 3 a.m. trade? Did you wake up last night? Scooball, good morning to you. Donkey saying he sees some support in the mid-40s. Looks like we're going to need to go test it. There is no buyers yet this morning at all here in the market. That is bearish. Yeah, mid-40s got that poor low, needs repair. That could bring in some buyers waiting down there. Vincent, good morning to you. David Glass, welcome back. Good to see you. Black Cat back in the house. He's saying 46.65 is last week's low. Look for continuation. So I guess you mean if we can get above it at this point? Nunez. Go long stream. Thank you for your thumbs up, brother. J Trader, good morning to you. DJ Trader, welcome to you. Choppy session. Oh, man. Yeah, chop is usually what we get when we open inside the previous day's range. Phoenix, howdy to you. Welcome. All right, back above the open. This must be the buyers starting to step in. Oh, man, you got to love this thin volume where they can just push it. 5 points in 5 seconds? No problem. And I got $15 overnight and called it a night. Oh, you must mean literally $15, not 15 points. Hey, man, better than losing money. Oh, some reports came out this morning. Good, bad, otherwise? Do tell. It was like the jobs and something else, right? Now, this doesn't have me overly bullish, just to let you guys know. This could just be the counter auction to the overnight. Bunch of these shorts that just piled in here late in the overnight session, starting to take profits. As I said earlier, I'll get bullish if we can get above this big node of volume right here and then come back down and find some support in there. That will get me bullish for continuation as we will be re-entering the previous balancing area. Ray Miller in Tampa. Man, what are you, like a traveling salesman? How are you in a different city every morning? Good morning to you. Donkey, not snoozed it. Fair enough. Mediterra, about time we had continuation. Didn't think the 49 would hold so long. I assume you mean continuation to the downside. Bow bow, cold morning in Georgia, cold morning everywhere. Winter is upon us. Scoop all NQ weather. Oh, weaker. Damn it. That would have been a funny joke if you said it was NQ weather. Let's jump over and take a look at the Q. Looks kind of the same to me. A little bit weaker. It's also worth noting the NQ's been kind of the leading indicator the last few days. It generally tends to make the move before the ES. So if it starts to pull back here, I wouldn't be surprised if the ES follows. And the chop continues. David V, good morning to you. Nunez, what's the 3 a.m. trade? So there's I guess 3 a.m. is when Europe opens. I'm not sure why, but at 3 a.m. a lot of times in the overnight, the market will pick a direction and then get quite a bit of continuation in that particular, especially if it's like a reversal. So if earlier in the day or earlier in the overnight, it's kind of trading and at 3 a.m. it starts to like balance off, it'll get higher from there, or vice versa. If it's trading up and it starts to get that resistance, it'll go down. You can just look back at your charts. You'll see. It's not like a every night thing, though. It's, a couple nights a week. You get it pretty clear. It's the London Open. There you go. Nunez Trading Donkey is requesting that you unblock him because he gets upset when you make comments and he can't be part of it. And I assume if you've blocked him, you can't see that he's asking you to unblock him. So I'll play intermediary here. Come on, boys, play nice. Design Knob, good morning to you. Ahoy. Herman, good to see you. All right, well, it doesn't look like they're going to hold it up here. They're getting some downward pressure. Methinks they need to pull back a little. The assumption, of course, being whoever's buying is buying because we're right on top of that 20 moving average on the daily right now. So either it's going to work for them or it's not. If it starts to pull lower, they'll get squeezed out of those longs. But if it does work and they can get back above this high volume node, it'll be good, strong support. So they're just doing battle, trying to decide who's going to win, buyers or sellers. Who's it going to be? Phoenix. Oh boy, now everybody's realizing at some point they blocked poor Donkey. He said one mean thing. Alpha Trader, good morning to you. Welcome. Oh, John Q. I didn't even pick up that was the song. It's the Baby Outside one. And she said, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. He said, I gotta check the charts. She said, baby, it's cold in these sheets. He said, the ES is reversing. I gotta trade. I'm sorry, too early. I apologize. Danielle, good morning to you. Alpha Trader, anyone doing anything in metaverse? Like buying and etc. I'll tell you what, though, I really am disappointed in myself. Years ago, can't block Charles. I'm so sorry, Mediterra. My apologies. Yeah, like a few years ago, I was looking at buying, like actually buying land inside of Decentraland, which is like the cryptocurrency that's been building a metaverse for years and years. And I thought about like buying land and building like a casino, like inside the game, basically. And I just never did it. And man, anyone who did right now, they're worth so much money. It's ridiculous. Good morning to Bob from Tennessee. Hope you got that high-speed internet up in those hills. Okay, support is becoming resistance. So if they can't get these ticks above the zero line, they will likely need to get a pullback in price to bring in more buyers. And like I said, if those buyers who are buying, assuming they're going to find support around this 20, if the market starts to pull back, you'll get little pops because they'll start to get squeezed out of those trades. All eyes on the ticks. Design Knob, what happened to Arcaleon? I think she's gone. She made a comment. One of her last comments in the Discord was something like, I need to, like, I'm too distracted by this stuff, like, during the day. I need to just focus on my trading and not, like, focus on the chat and stuff like that. So I think she may have called it quits. I'm sure she'll be back from time to time just to say hello. Scooball, that's a great point. If ever my singing bothers you, you've got a mute button on your computer. Jay Trader, your New York mayor is very pro crypto. Yeah, I don't really know much about him, but I'm anyone who's pro crypto. I'm anyone who's pro like growth and adaptation and trying new things. Give the entrepreneurs a chance. See if they can make something of it. Wouldn't it be great if we could have a better banking system? Can't take out the value area low. Yeah, I never really used the value area as a like support resistance type of thing. But to me, I would say it's kind of the opposite. They're having a hard time getting back above that 20 daily. So to me, it's not bullish here. It's still bearish until they can get those ticks above the zero line, which they can't, not yet. Rob Farley, good morning to you. Douglas. Fair play. Oh, there you go, Mediterra. The value area with fibs. Yeah, fibs are super reliable. Muhammad, what was the overnight high? Looks like 46.92. And it looks like it was a poor high. It is worth noting that the overnight spent most of its time and put in most of its volume up here inside that previous balancing area. That's not bullish, but it's just a little bit, a tiny little bit bullish. A little tiny bit. Eensy weensy. NQ pushing those ticks. They're getting there. Come on, Nicey. Your turn. Alpha Trader, he's also for plant-based foods. Well, there's nothing wrong with plant-based foods. As long as you're still allowed to eat meat. Don't want no regulations saying you have to eat plant-based foods. But it is better for the environment and your body. Design of a calf. Yeah, the overnight spending time and putting in volume up there is calf. It's calf. It's calfish. Danielle, I'll die without hamburgers, real ones. Well, I fully support your decision to eat real meat. I love a hamburger. I love a steak. I love chicken. I don't like fish, but I like all the other meats. Oh man, the pressure is building here. I don't know whether they're going to take it up or down, but whichever direction, they should get some follow through. Think about it like a spring getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Livis, those animal farts are so bad for the climate. Well, it's not the farting, it's the feeding. The amount of corn and shit that we have to grow to feed all the animals and the water they drink. Rocket, you think it's bots? I think it's bots doing the chops. Donkey, no, I don't like sushi. I never liked any of it. I don't have any like problem with it. I just never like the taste. I'll eat it if I'm like at a dinner party and that's what they're serving, but it's just not my favorite. Can they do it? Can the buyers take over here? Remember, getting those ticks above the zero line is our first indication that there are more buyers than sellers. If there are more buyers than sellers, which we're just starting to get now, they'll push the price higher. I like it. I like it. So very, very short term, I'm bullish on a test of this node up here. I think we're about to push up into that. Just that spring effect, that coiling up in here. But I don't know if we'll get through it. So I would wait to go long until we got above and came back down and found support. Oh boy, lots of news coming out. Let me get the juice up and running. Financial juice. Breaking news. Forecast 2.2%. All right. Well, we're heading up to test that node of volume that I just mentioned. Potential resistance in there. We're also pushing right up against that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles, so that might provide resistance as well. But as I said, if they can get through this node right here and come back down and find some support, that will be a good long trade to potentially target the opposite end of balance. But until then, it could still be resistance, so I'll wait it out. All right, I'm bullish. So now we're looking for this area right around this node to act as support for continuation higher. Obviously, if it fails and the market starts to pull back down towards that 20 moving average, that's the last support we have. But I think this node is going to hold. I see the buyers stepping in with the trend up in the ticks. If you were going long right here, where would I put a stop? I just put it like right about here, just below that node. So say like 70, 71. Again, this is what I now think will hold as support for continuation higher. Knife in the house. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. Arthur, good to see you. Yeah, Nunez. I'm looking at the volume over here on the left, the cumulative, because that includes like this is the area where like day after day after day we've been finding support. You see over and over and over again. This has been support, support. And yesterday that was the area we were really struggling to get over all day long, and then we finally got over at the very end of the day. But then the overnight spent most of their time up there. Right? Look at where the volume and the time, volume starts to fade right in that node. Time starts to fade right in that node. So that should be support if we're going to keep going. In my humble opinion. But we should also get these ticks to stay above the zero line. Arthur, it doesn't seem bullish to you. And Harry, good pullback long here. I don't know. I'm losing faith in it. It's starting to dip below this, so we may have to head back to that 20 daily. Looking for support there. But the buyers are trying, man. It's also worth noting we bounced perfectly off the 20 moving average on the NQ. So that's bots selling that. We can push back through if we get up there. So yeah, at this point, I will stay bullish. Still looking to go long in this support right here. But if that fails, I will change my tune instantly. Trading Donkey, why don't you have a trending up banner, Pirate Traders? Because I'm listening to you, brother. We're not trending yet. No, I don't. I don't call it trending anymore in the initial balance. I still look at the one time framing. I still say it's bullish to start one time framing higher, but I don't officially call it a trend until it continues into the C period. But I've been doing that for a long time. But I do think it's bullish here. You know, I'm watching these ticks. They're continuing to trend higher. They're holding above the zero line. So when the ticks are pushing higher, but the price is pulling down, which is what it was doing a second ago, that's just liquidation of old business. So same as before, looking to get above this node and then come back down and find support. Design knob. The problem is, there's going to be another push for all-time highs, Santa rally, but when and for how long? Um, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the bigger players will buy the dip. I just don't know if they're going to do it today. I assume they're all off in their, vacation homes. They've gone to Europe for the week or whatever they do. I don't know what rich people do. Trading Donkey, are you ready to admit one time framing doesn't start until the break of the initial balance? I will admit that it is a much more potent signal when it breaks the B to the C. But half the time when the market starts to trend higher, like if it's going to trend for a long period, like if we're going to go straight up today to the opposite end of balance, it's going to have started in the A to B period, right? And so if you wait for the C period, you're missing a huge chunk of potential reward, right? And oftentimes, if you study initial balances, which I've been doing, oftentimes they make up a big chunk of the volatility for the day. So you can't just always wait for the initial balance to break to take a trade. That being said, you are correct that half the time when you get a trend in the initial balance, it can just reverse in the C period and go the opposite direction or just rotate inside for a while. That is absolutely true. But that other half the time, it is the beginning of a larger trend. So I don't want to ignore it. But I'll just call it bullish, and then we'll call it one time framing when we get above the B period. But yes, I will call cessation if the C period breaks the B period low. I'm a complicated guy, But again, I feel like we've been over this, Donkey, you and I 1,000 times. Just because I call cessation here doesn't mean the market can't start to trend lower. It just means I won't get into that short until we get below that A period low. That's all it means. It does not mean the market has to rotate and cannot do anything else. It just means I'm waiting to get below that low and find resistance. Then I take the trade short. That's all. Design knob, yeah, I'm talking by end of year. Yeah, no, I definitely think that we're going to get a push in December. No doubt about it. There's just no need to head up there right away. We have good excess on that all-time high. So it could stay up there for a while. Joe Park finding support. Yep. The next thing to see will be if the NQ can grind its way through that 15 moving average. 15 moving. I'm so sorry, guys. 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. Right there. So there's going to be some bots selling there. So if it can work its way through, we should start to get a pop higher. Don't love the look of the ticks here either. All right, Rocket, enjoy your Thanksgiving, brother. Oh, and to give everybody a heads up, I won't be streaming on Friday either. I'm going to take the 2 days off. Friday's like a half day for the market, so I'm just going to take it as a full day for the pirate. So I will see all of you on Monday. Monday. Arthur, good unemployment news. I thought the market would go higher. Give it a chance, my man. It's trying. It's got some resistance to work its way through, but it's trying to go higher. And like I said, once it does, once we get good support at this level and start to get continuation, there's really very little resistance to it getting back up to the previous balancing area high at 47.07. Except for maybe this spiked base of the spike from a couple days ago. Other than that, there's not a lot of resistance in here above where we currently are. So be patient, give it time. It's on its way. Design knob, it never even crossed my mind, the Thanksgiving Day parade. I never even thought about it. Probably not, because I hate crowds, so I'll avoid that like the plague. But that hadn't even crossed my mind. Mike, 3-year, 9 months, 17 days apart, or 397, or 437, or 4737. H is on that 4740. Boy, I don't follow any of that. Open your window and sing to parade goers. I'll sing like a New Yorker. Keep it down out there. Trying to sleep. And Black Cat, I'm not sure what you mean. Mamas and papas? Sounded a little Boston. Okay, let's not judge my accents here. Boston's like that's the Dunkin' Donuts place, right? Like Park the car in the yard. Boston. It's a little nasal. Oh, Monday, yeah. Okay, looks like we're getting through that 20 moving average on the NQ. So that's the last bit of resistance there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the way the NQ was balancing, it seems crazy because it was pushing higher. But the way it was balancing while the ES was balancing horizontal was that it was making a channel. So we don't have quite as much bullishness in terms of re-entering that now. So I do think these big nodes of volume will act as resistance up here. So the NQ's got a harder fight to get higher than the ES does for sure. So look for that resistance to start at about 16,293. We've also got some single prints we just left behind in the B period. Those are likely to need to backfill. And then you look for support at the base of the single prints, which is 16,210 for the NQ. And poor high on the ES, so we expect to push away. Looking for support at 46.71.75. Single patents. So same as I said before, to me it's a little bit bullish. It's calfish to be getting back up in the balancing area. If we can keep this momentum going, the target will become the opposite end of balance, which is going to be 47.07 to the upside. Come on. So does that make sense, guys, that this is a balancing area in here? Oh, no. Okay. We pushed up into this area, built volume, came back down, looked below it, traded to the opposite end, looked above, traded to the opposite end, looked below, traded to the opposite end, looked above, brought in support, setting us up for a breakout. Breakout failed, traded to the opposite end, and now we're looking back above again. So just like what happened when we looked below here and pulled back up, and just like we looked below here and pulled back up, that increases the odds that this is where we're going. Doesn't mean it has to, just increases the odds. There will be resistance at the base of the spike down, which is just above yesterday's high. And with that, I shall bid you all farewell. If you're a member of the Brigade, we'll see you in the private stream. If you're not, we will see you on Monday morning. Happy trading, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and a wonderful Thanksgiving. Unless you live overseas, have a wonderful regular week.